Alright, hello and welcome, brave souls. Kavan, well, I'm your GM in the Great Barrier, and welcome to the center of your entertainment universe. There, gonna try that again. I'm your GM in the Great Barrier, and we are broadcasting from the center of your entertainment galaxy tonight with Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. You are joining us for the start of a brand new adventure, Hay'wI, Part 1. So, a couple notes at the top. Our usual cast is all present tonight, however, some of the main characters are not going to be present in the game, strictly speaking. We'll touch on that more with the recap, but in the meantime, let's fix the tokens, as it were. Switch that over. So, I said switch that over. We'll probably get into the stream gears. There we go. Okay. So there we are. Before we get into tonight's adventure and explain everything that's going on, a couple of shout-outs, obviously, to start with. First and foremost, we have some of our long-established ones. One that, of course, goes to our some of our fellow players. So for that, I'd say first we've got our good friend Joe, the Overland gamer, whose podcast you can check out on your podcasting platform of choice under the Overland gamer, as well as his Twitch channel. All of that will be either referred to in the Twitch chat or in the description of the video for those of you watching the archive. How are you liking, looks like Horizon Zero Dawn so far, Joe?
Doing really well with it. It's a fantastic game and set in kind of a unique setting, futuristic setting. It's kind of nice to go to the different real world locations and see how the artists and stuff have visioned the far distant future of our world. Followed up by great stories, so it's been fun to play.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. Any times you want to remind people when they can look you up?
It's honestly right now it's just kind of in flux as I do the daily single dad jobs. So just follow me and you'll get notification when I go live.
Fair enough, and I highly advise you do that. Also on the follow list, I'd recommend our chief engineer, usual player behind Rladaar, on Caligo, who's been launching a new venture over on his channel. Tell us, or rather, at the Xyla OXO channel. Um, Tell me, Caligo, how is being dragged into the pits of GMing going for you?
Not the worst time I've had it. So, you know what? Pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It definitely seems like everybody's having fun. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. And you're running that, what, Monday? Is it like 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern? I'm trying to remember now.
About 7 Eastern, 6 Central is when the session is supposed to start.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you folks check them out. It's Mondays at around 6 Central, 7 Eastern. So feel free to check it out. Very fun if you are into a fantasy setting more so, and of course the pre-established interest for those of you that are also weebs. Good stuff. Uh, Going on down the line here, we had a couple other players that wanted to mention something. First, Cheesy, were you ready to say more on that other topic?
Yes, so I previously stated that it was called World of RuneScape. He has changed the name for copyright reasons, and it is now labeled WORS or Wars. So that way he doesn't have any affiliation with the other games. and he just now streamed how the woodcutting was working and how the imps are going to be in the game. He's using the Murloc models for the imps because there's such a vast variety of them, and he said he was going to introduce the special imps early on in the alpha. And on the alpha note, he said that the alpha should be releasing either the end of this month or the beginning of next month if everything goes planned. So check your streams. People should be streaming it here soon. I know there's a few names in the Discord that are a bit popular.
Yep. And we'll be dropping a link to that Discord in the archived video here for you folks, so feel free to check that out.
Oh, and the alpha signups are up right now. I don't know if they're going to be closed by the time you watch this, but if you do get this early on, head on over there and sign up. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fun experience.
Certainly. So we'll be sure to get that out to any of you there. On the other matter, just to check, Rev, anything you wanted to drop into?
Yes, I do.
Well then, by all means.
Excellent. So, I've mentioned it before, but for those who don't know, I am one of the devs of the mod for Star Wars Empire at War Forces of Corruption Total Conversion mod, the Empire Thrawn's Revenge team. Exactly last week, so on April 2nd, we released the newest version of our Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War mod. Version 3.4. It adds a completely new faction, the Hutt Cartel, to play as, and also has new functions to allow you to create your own custom Galactic Conquest map scenarios. So if you're into real-time strategy games with a Star Wars twist, if you're into old school Legends or expanded universe storylines, feel free to check it out. It's free after you purchase the game, of course, and a lot of fun. So give it a look if you are into that sort of thing.
Definitely, I can give it a recommendation myself. Playing, I'd say, I try to mix and match the factions, but I do tend to favor the Pentastar alignment, if only because I love me some Venators. But that's just me. In any case,
Venators were way better than Imperial Star Destroyers. They were just really expensive to build.
Well, not in the game.
Let's not go down that. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yes. So let's see. Resisting the urge to get into my hot Star Wars takes. Anyway, let's
have to do that. We'll have to do that for one of the sessions when most people can't show up, and then we'll just do hot Star Wars takes.
It's just Rev and I going back and forth for hours, and anyone else that wants to be there. So why would you? Anyway, let's go ahead and get things started here. So when last we left off, the Jan has... actually, why am I starting off with that? Where we actually get a log for this session. So let me switch screens over and... let's go exterior shot, Jan, and pick up with our log for the session. So take it away, Caligo.
Personal log, engineer's log, whatever. 47th day of Mateng, year of Kalis 875. The Yon, under the command of Azik, has spent some weeks traveling at warp towards Ho Sima. I've been working overtime to make sure our engines are running as quickly and as smoothly as possible. When subspace conditions are stringent at best. Due to Tabak and Tresic choosing to stay behind, we are already under crew. And I'm really starting to feel the absence of our old security officer Woe. Bet you would have liked how Daw's been doing so far. Or Nagri. I am hoping that by the time I get there, my uncle is still alive. Tulek is nice, to say the least of him. I'm just starting to ramble now. Getting tired. In log.
And as Rladaar gives up on his latest effort to document the current trip, the yawn gets ever closer to the Hoshimar system. Let me actually pull up my notes here. Let's see. So, anyway, the yawn is presently proceeding at warp. As stated, it's been a slower trip, as would be known on the bridge by its chief pilot, as, well, at least the most knowledgeable pilot. I don't know how you have assigned duties in that time, Azek, or whether you continue to fly the ship as well. But the one thing that would be worth noting would be just how, the simple fact that, going from Mektor to this other end of the system on this part of the sort of northern salient out towards out towards regions that have various designations for the different houses of the Empire, what those Earthers would call Shackleton, near that frontier. The trip has been slowed by unfriendly subspace conditions. Thus, the trip from Mektor, which itself is not particularly, it's not particularly easy for anyone on the, well, going from that relative backwater isn't the easiest trip in general. In this case, it's been a good deal slower. But finally, after some weeks proceeding at warp, you look like you are finally going to close the distance and reach the planet at long last, or the star system at the very least. Let us pick up. I suppose. Let me ask first before I force anything or like dictate a particular start anywhere. Let me ask, would anyone want a scene to start with?
Yeah, Isaac. I think.
Okay. So Azek, would you like to start on the bridge today, or would you want this to be elsewhere?
Oh, absolutely. We're on the bridge. Isaac is sitting at the helm. Course has been laid in, and we are flying true. Vopri has orders to notify us of any sensor issues that he may come up, tactical, if there's any ships in the area that pose a threat. They've been ordered to help us out, or to let us know. And I start up a rendition of the Warriors' Anthem. Koi Kalis Pug Lod Koi Puke Pu Yobon I can't sing the rest of this because I don't know it, but you get the gist of the song that we were singing. And I think that would do a performance role from everybody on the bridge to see how well we do and how our help us build up some momentum. I think if that would be okay with you.
That would be fine. I will ask, essentially, who is actually on the bridge before we transition into that scene.
I would be just chilling, watching displays,
Very
pretending like I'm being useful.
So we'll have Zional on the bridge. Let's see, who else wants to be involved here?
Maybe me a little bit, tiny bit. I'll pop in.
Okay. Let me set that up. Okay, so we'll place Croker on the bridge. Just getting everybody placed. Let's see. Victor, I think it sounded like Rladaar was going to be, well, at least giving up on trying to record a personal log. Would he amble about to the bridge, or do you think that he would, if he were to get up at all, that he'd be more bound to engineering or something?
I'd say you can at least make a start to the bridge to see how things are coming along up there.
Gotcha. I'm getting a sense of scene order. And then, Sean, what are you feeling there, besides static?
I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's quite alright.
Again, as I was just typing to you, we hadn't gone over the whole bringing new people on board the ship yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there or not yet.
I was prepared to say that, given that it sounded as though Tabak might have sent some people on, you could conceivably already be there. Alternatively, if you'd like to be at the destination, we could make either work. But I wasn't. I didn't have a scene in mind before where we left Mektor. We've been there 6 whole sessions, so just GM shrugs his shoulders. Tell you what, we'll let you hang back.
No, I got it. I'm on board the ship, but nobody knows I'm on board.
Oh.
I fell asleep in the cargo bay.
Oh boy. Well, that'll be fun to get to in a moment.
Yep.
All right.
It gets me there.
Did Tabak let us know that he was bringing people on board? I'm assuming.
You're Azek's now captain. That would have been up to him. He hadn't assigned anybody, but there were people who were bringing supplies on board.
Well, it would have been up to Tabak to let Azek know. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but we hadn't done that as a scene, so I would just say no. He just said go. He didn't mention anything about filling in the roster.
Yep.
It's in an email that's getting transmitted across the galaxy, and it's going to go straight into the junk mailbox.
Yep. I guess other question, Cheesy, do you want Traven in the scene, or would you prefer to have him busy elsewhere? Or Kelshaw, for that matter.
Traven's gonna be cooking for sure.
Gotcha. Let him cook.
Trying to get the meal for the next day.
Yeah. So.
Why did my mind go to Breaking Bad and picturing Traven down in the docks as like Jesse and White.
On a weird side note, is there tools that I could use that someone that if they were like giant in size could use for food utensils? Could I find that?
I'm sure that you were able to get some large spoons or skewers of some sort.
Okay, cool.
They're probably meant more for stirring pots and whatnot, but for the dimensions you're going for, I think that would work. So, Rladaar, I'm going to say that you step through the you walk through the neck of the ship up to the bridge, having given up on the log from earlier, and as you step through, Azek is trying to lead the what little of a bridge crew there is in a chorus of a traditional Klingon battle song, essentially, something to or the warrior's hymn. If you think your character would be participating, I will allow everyone on the bridge to give me a presence plus command roll.
Can I pretend to participate?
You can try to lip sync and tap the tap the console. I will rule that
Daring
being,
and command?
it's maybe you're
Or is it
trying
still
to.
presence?
I would feel like it's still presence, or at the very least.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too bad.
I am A-okay with that.
You want some coffee?
Yes, please.
Raktajino all around. Can I use my inspiration focus on this one?
I will allow you to use that.
Inspiring the crew.
Okay, Azek rolls a single success, and that 0 is a 19 on the die. An auspicious start to the adventure.
My die like to live dangerously.
Telling me. So, as you step in, Rladaar, and you quietly, or, well, not so much quietly as in a very low register with the rumble of your vocal cords, for these, the Klingons may be able to sing in a very guttural manner, but yours is on a different order of magnitude from them.
Swamp core.
Yeah. By the way, Ray, if you want Croker to sing as well, then you could. That is totally within your purview. But in any case, it's the collection that you have here. Vopri, for his part, is not singing, I will say, and if he did, it probably wouldn't make that much of a difference. It's not the most rousing chorus you've heard. The ship is truly not filled with song. But it is a way to help pass the time.
Would this count as an activation for any supporting characters?
This would indeed, so Zional may receive an activation.
Excellent. I'm going to pick up a new talent.
Very good. Yep. But yes, Rladaar, as the music eventually dies down, you look through the sparsely manned stations, the empty captain's chair, and you remember that moment ago where you had left behind the commanding officer. Rather, he had given you leave, but he had also given you and the ship leave, which is perhaps the most unusual circumstance.
More than I expected. But going over to stations to check our distance.
Glancing over Vopri's shoulder here, I'll tell you what, if you want to help with this, or if you want to add to roll, perhaps I would allow an insight plus either science or security, depending upon how you were thinking about this, which Vopri will assist.
All right. I'll do. What was it? You said insight?
Yes.
Insight, security, hazard awareness?
That would apply. You are being very mindful of the. You're being very mindful of possible, like, tactical situations or the possibility of ambush as you approach the system.
Alright.
Okay. You scored 2 successes on your roll, with a further 1 from Vopri. So, the yawn is closing pretty quickly now on the system. As near as you can tell, Holshamar appears to be a, I would say, a relatively standard main sequence red star system. There's a mix of different gas giants and other such astral bodies in the system. It seems that the way that the planets are laid out, the third planet in the system is correction. The way that it seems to work, Hosh Samar is the 3rd planet of the star system proper, and that it has a relatively close orbit to a couple of gas giants. The gas giants, in addition to having a large number of interesting, if uninhabitable, moons, they've served as basically comet catchers, which have largely allowed the planet to develop relatively safely. And indeed, Hosh Samar is a very verdant world, a fairly prosperous colony, one that, as far as you know, belonged to House Katoh for some great many years. Near as your sensors can tell, there are residual signs of power systems that would suggest there is a fleet presence of some sort. Your best guess would be maybe something on the smaller end, or something a bit more interspersed. Something on the order of bird of preys, maybe a couple of cruisers, and at least one larger vessel of a sort. You would suspect maybe something for coordination or combat purposes. Until you get closer, it would be hard to say. What Vopri's sensor scans do tell you is that there is little sign of active or even recent weapons fire, so any engagement in space that might have happened is either paused or has since concluded, which doesn't necessarily bode well. As you look over that, Vopri is also going to he's going to rub the side of his face a little bit. If we make it through the outer system relatively undetected, we may be able to use the gas giants. The 5th planet is in fairly close orbit. We could use it to help mask an approach.
Well, the main question is figuring out whose fleet is currently there. If it's the House fleet that I hope it is, we won't need to mast our approach. Hopefully.
And we don't have a this is out of character. We don't have a cloaking device yet, do we?
Nope. The first cloaking device that the Klingons wield isn't due to show up for years. Several years at the very least.
If I understand it correctly, they get that in exchange. They get that in exchange from the Romulans when they give them a couple of starship hulls.
Well, that's at least the 2267 treaty.
Yeah. That's a ways away.
Uh-huh. Yep, that's
So it doesn't arrive till Tuesday. Got it.
But how
But it
different
is
from-
Tuesday.
But Doctor, it is Tuesday. Oh.
Wait, does that mean everything we asked for just happens now because it's Tuesday?
Not without spending some momentum. And
Oh. Speaking of which, how many momentum did we gain?
I'm going to say that with that roll, I will give you a point of momentum to start with. So let's see. Who would like to be designated momentum officer today?
I vote Joe.
I mean, Azek's the captain.
Yeah.
It seems, Joe,
Yeah, I can do that.
you serve the
I can do
crew.
I'm gonna have to get used to doing that sooner or later.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, in any...
That means when you ask for it, I can pull a Captain Shaw and just go no. Request denied.
Yeah, boy. Anyway,
It's all going to his head now, guys.
yep. What have you done?
Sorry.
Yep. So yeah, at this point, Rladaar, the sensor contact is growing. Azek, you likewise see. I should make one correction. The planet proper is Hosh Samar. It is actually a part of the Shamar system. So, just a small point of clarification there. With that, while people are on the bridge here, is there anything any of you guys would like to do right now, or any further exchange you'd want to have amongst yourselves?
When we get the sensor echoes, obviously the song will die down a bit. Look over at Vopri and ask him what kind of get an update as far as what he sees, and is there a way through?
Near as I can read, Captain, the vessels appear to be mostly confined to the inner system in patrol around Hosh Samar. I would say mostly lighter vessels, birds of prey, possibly a couple larger cruisers. Few vessels larger could be L-class or possibly larger battleships. I don't know. I am unfamiliar with many of them.
If I wanted to spend momentum to affect the story in a small way, obviously we have only one momentum there. Would that mean I'd have to give you threat as well? Or is it only momentum that can get spent on that?
I think that threat could be used in the same way. You may certainly give the GM the 2 threat. I will allow you to expend 2 points of threat in order to create a slight advantage.
The advantage that I would like to create is that there is an asteroid or a comet of some kind traveling through the sector. And the goal is to get, story-wise, is to get us in behind it or in its tail somehow. And the trajectory of it should get us closer to the planet. Obviously, we're still going to run into issues, but I want that to be at least an option for us to get through should we need to.
I will allow that for the 2 points of threat. Azek, I will say that comet does seem to be barreling in towards the 5th planet, which is in a conveniently close orbit. Um, it's still such that it's like at least part of an astronomical unit out, or the distance from the Earth to the Sun. But the comet and the trajectory that it's taking, it could allow you a stealthy approach at the very least, if you were to drop out of warp behind it, with the Yon's comparatively small warp field. Um, I would say that it would mask your approach, particularly as the moment you drop out of warp, you shed a lot of radiation from the warp bubble disengaging, and the comet would obstruct Klingon sensors from most of that.
Okay.
So long as they don't know very
I-
specifically to look there.
Right. I'm going to keep that option wide open, and that's kind of the plan, because I'm getting the sense from Vopri and Raldar that these guys are actually threats and not friendlies. Um, Raldar, are these the difficulties you were talking about that you needed to come home to?
Well, considering the message paints us, my house, as the likely invaders, we still need to figure out whose vessels are in orbit.
I'll relay my plan to Raldar and Vokrai. Obviously, the rest of the bridge crew's probably going to hear it too. If we want to get in there kind of stealthy, we can go behind this comet. Um, Otherwise, we can just go straight on in and say hello. I'm leaving that decision open to the crew, per crew's advice or suggestions.
So, anyone there want to venture any thoughts?
I am for the honorable course. No need to be stealthy.
Is there any kind of house signal that you might know, Raldar, to determine whether or not these fine fleet assembled that could easily pulverize us into space dust would be ours? Perhaps known battle strategies or something like that? I don't know.
Yes. But primarily, I could figure it out through the IFF.
Well, as long as we don't end up in a firefight with an entire Klingon fleet, I don't care much what we do.
Well,
I think
We're
we've been
not.
in enough firefights against Klingon fleets for 2 lifetimes.
Keep in mind, we also represent the Tabok's house as well, so we wouldn't want to do anything that would cause strife between his house and the potential conflicts that are here as well.
yes. It is unlikely for us to be involved. This is a conflict between houses. They wouldn't want to drag in another one.
Unless they were provoked enough.
Hopefully our plan is not to provoke them.
That's what I'd like to do. Every day is a good day to die, but I'd rather take the captain's ship back to him without a scratch. Nobody tell him about that asteroid I nicked in warp.
They'll probably just quietly deleting records of the asteroid.
It was a micro asteroid. I didn't see it there. I didn't see it.
Well, so as you decide on that course of action there, anything else you guys would want to do there on the bridge?
So just to clarify, our actions is we're just going to go straight in, or we're going to use the comet.
Can I bring meals to the bridge?
Sure.
I will allow that.
Sorry, I was speaking as captain, not GM.
Quite all right. Quite all right.
Captain normally doesn't let us eat up here. This is great.
Yep. Draven rolls in with the food cart.
As long as you got my dock pocket.
I do not. I have gawk, and this time, instead of using normal grapbox sauce, I thinned the grapbox sauce down to half and filled the rest of it with blood wine and mixed that up as a sauce for the gawk. And for Vopri, I have some Zilmcock with some glot. What's going on?
Well, we are approaching the designated target, but we're running into a small issue of how do we approach? Do we approach direct, which means we're going to encounter a lot of potential hostiles, depending on who is surrounding the planet? Or do we go in kind of a stealthier way and get in behind a comet that would take us close to the planet to where we could see who's there and make our next move after getting more information a little closer?
There's a comet?
Yes. I asked Vopri to bring it up on the screen.
Yep.
The main piece.
A relatively light object. Stand by one moment. And oh no, the version of my map did not save. Let's see here. One moment. Going to see if I can actually pull up the thing that I worked on between sessions. And oh dear. The woes sometimes of Roll20 and not being able to get the thing completely on. Well, I can show you a version of this that will not look quite as good. I will apologize in advance here as I try to get this at least. Let's see here. Okay, yes. Apologies in advance again as Vopri pulls up the map. Just some of the bits short out here. The readout suggests there is a comet on its way out from the belt, creating a dispersive made out of shedding alloys that would create a dispersive effect for our sensors. He takes
Just curious, what kind of alloys?
I would suspect the analysis suggests a minor bit of heronium precursor, magnesite, and seems like some sort of not so much alloy as iron, raw iron in such a way. The combination is reflecting, creating the dispersive effect.
I think we should go with the asteroid. Or comet, sorry.
if we go that route, we can get more information before we engage, and then change our plans based on that. Captain's decision. Let's set course in behind the comet. I will make note of in my log of your suggestion to go straight on in case this is my idea is a bad idea. And I'll make sure to punch up in the. I guess I'm the helmsman. What do I need to do for that role?
Okay, so to set up the warp insertion that you are looking to place Azik, that is going to be a control plus con roll. I am going to say that is a difficulty. Well, since you have some time to plan this out, I will set the difficulty to 3. I am going to use the 2 points of threat that you have already given me, however, and actually just 1 point of threat. I'm going to increase your complication range by 1.
Okay, I'll spend that momentum to get a third dice.
Okay.
All right, and piloting as part of my focus options.
That would definitely apply.
There we go. That's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, that is 3 successes. You are assisted too by the ship with con and engines if you wish to try and roll that.
Okay, I'll get to that. Let's see if the ship can actually do something. Engines and con, you said?
Correct? Hey.
Oh my god.
Holy!
The
Nice.
ship decided to really help today.
Well, at 2 successes, that will, of course, or rather at 5 successes total, that will net you 2 points of momentum. And that does also allow you to enter the sector, or the star system, relatively quietly as you come in behind the asteroid. Or the comet, rather. I'll say for our purposes, that is the green dot which has appeared on the map that did not load properly, and thus I have had to place the elements separately. Once again, I apologize for that. Such is life. Let's go away from this unfortunate map here and move elsewhere through the ship. So, as you distribute meals, set your plan, and otherwise get ready to go. Would anyone else like to do anything else on the ship?
Snore. I'm snoring.
Fair enough. Let's see.
Sorry, I was muted. Can I invoke the meal?
Oh, certainly. You have set it up to where it is. There's technically a breaking, like a break from the work, or at least, well, it's a working lunch in this case because of the because you are bringing food up to the up to people at their posts. So I will allow that. Now instead of what would normally be losing some momentum, you actually get to, I believe, roll a challenge die to reflect that you keep the momentum, potentially. Let me double check this here.
Oh, why'd it roll 1? Or why'd it roll 3 times?
It probably registered off the last time you did that, so go ahead and give me another roll.
Ooh.
Okay, that is 1. That is not an effect, so I believe that you would keep momentum as is. As a matter of fact, we'll just say that is 1 extra to your pool.
The GM is kind.
Indeed. So, we'll skip on ahead for the moment, unless anybody else comes to something they want to do. And further ahead in the time period, the Yon will drop out of warp. Amidst the comet, glowing an iridescent blue-green, much like the surrounding space as you make a pass by the gas giant. It's the dim, wispy sort of bursts of material seem to come off of that. I would say also there's a bit of a reddish tint to some of it as it sheds a few metallic pieces. You're at a far enough distance to where you are unharmed between the position you came out and the choice in terms of, obviously use of the deflector system to keep the ship safe. So the Yon is able to glide along, running as silently as possible. Engines firing up, switching from warp to impulse to bring you slowly into position.
Tactical. What are you reading as far as our ships that are out there? His tacticals, MIA. Right then.
I was going to say I can at least do Croker on this.
Okay.
Let's see. Looking around right now, Captain. I'm seeing definitely seeing signs of like bird of preys, Machla class, few larger cruisers, Shetch grade frigates, and sweet Kalis, they've actually got 2 Elf class assault cruisers. Presuming you are on the bridge, Rladaar, this would be something you definitely know of because it's one of the few areas where it's one of the few bits of kit that the houses commonly use in this day and age that the Empire, the Imperial Navy also had in some large portion. There is in order to support large-scale planetary invasion for the past 75 years or so, going back to the time, I'd say just well before even the inception of the D6. One of the houses had commissioned special cruisers that were essentially meant as primarily troop transports that could serve as field hospitals if it came to it, but were otherwise very well armed and very capable of carrying large elements of forces. It's somewhat modular as well, largely dagger shaped too. So it is, I believe, if I've got my notes right here, that would be a scale. Let's see. Just making sure I've got it right. Yep, that would be a scale 4 vessel. So very, definitely quite a bit larger than usual. The Shetch class ones are also pretty large themselves. Just so you have an idea, I'm going to put some of these posts in the Discord here. But yes, the array of forces seems to be quite considerable. And as Croker looks over, processing the subspace frequencies on their IFF, Remind me, Rladaar, are you House Mog yourself?
House Mock?
Mog.
Mock, no.
I got some bad news then.
It's a House Mog fleet.
Yeah. Like I said, bad news.
I'll be in the escape pods.
It does seem like, does seem to be signs of debris at least. That might not have been House Mog.
This ship doesn't have escape pods. Zional.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
Yeah, our ship doesn't have escape pods.
First, you all to Mora.
Did your family, was your family on the planet, or was there a station in orbit that they lived on, stationary platform?
Oof.
From what I understand, they were the aggressors.
Oh, I realize I only sent that to you, Sean. Let me repost that here.
I don't think. What did you send to me?
Oh, I thought I don't know. I'm a mess right now, it seems. Anyway.
It's okay.
Our GM has gotten into the good blood wine.
That's what happens when I let Traven feed everyone.
Wow. Blame everything on the show.
Always.
Always.
Rladaar, Captain, I have built off some possible leads off of my initial sensor scan. I do believe there are signs of possible. It looks as though there could be other vessels. They're not presently broadcasting signal, but they do have at least active EM fields suggesting they are creating a shield somewhere on the southern continent. It would also seem there are signs of high energy weapons fire, say sufficient size, suggesting class of disruptors that would be either, in some cases, ship grade or ground artillery, based on what computers will read out. It is possible battle continues and your people, your house, rather, they may still be fighting.
I see.
Well, let's see. It looks as though our there are bird of preys on patrol, but there's a bit of a gap. We could I don't know, those planet rings, they don't look too bad. Let me put up a visual as so as you get a reference to what's going on. For ahead of you on the visual, as you look at Hosh Samar, without the logo. As you look out at Hosh Samar, you get the sense of a dull reddish sort of vibe to the visible parts of the planet. Some areas of larger, like segments of water. It's a somewhat habitable world, as we've established, one that's been able to develop fairly well. The rings appear to be as Krokar was saying, they do show signs that, for one thing, they have been added to recently, as in to suggest that ship debris has been pushed in with them. But they appear to be very like fragments of ice and other sort of space rocks that have arrayed themselves around the planet. And I will further go to say that, speaking to what I said, the rings could afford you a continued stealthy approach.
Yeah, with the conflict going on, I think it's best to keep to the stealth and the rings and stuff.
I see. Perhaps rescue is an option in this scenario.
Our transporters were repaired correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Probably too far out from there to be able to beam anybody from here.
And their shields are up, I believe he said.
Yes.
The shields are arrayed primarily, it seems, in a manner to resist orbital bombardment. It would also make transport difficult if we were to beam directly down. If we were to, however, bring the ship into the atmosphere, we could conceivably fly at a low enough angle to allow ourselves to beam closer. Or we could even manage from orbit. It would probably be difficult to... I don't know. What do you think, Rocker? You know transporters. You're quite alright, little guy. He's mostly right. Major thing would be if they've got some sort of scrambling system, which if they're in the heat of battle, then I would not be surprised if they did.
If it is one thing House Talor knows, it is battle. They are not foolish warriors.
Oh, men after the captain's own heart, then. Croker throws up a devious smile.
They would not permit their enemies to transport grenades onto them.
There is a part of me that, looking at those big ships, disruption on both sides to create a distraction. And I know our wonderful caretaker would not approve, but there's a part of me that wants to try to get Tiny on board one of those ships and just let him have at it, to cause chaos while we take care of the planet. But that might be cruel because we might not get Tiny back, and that's just unacceptable.
Is that a bad thing?
That's a suicide mission. How dare you?
Is that a bad... I don't see how that's a bad thing. I mean, it's a danger. It's wanted.
Do you want to go
Clearly, it's a burden.
Do you want to go with him? Make sure the mission is a success then.
Oh no, I just see it as a win-win.
Alright.
But of course, I'm not the captain. It's not my choice.
Well, I don't want to offend any of our crew here if we do this, because more than likely it's a one-way trip.
Listen, he's a part of the crew whether we like it or not. He's already fought for us.
He's
We're alive.
a weapon, a tool,
No.
a
tool doesn't
utility,
speak.
a utility item, and one that has caused us more headaches than it's worth. We almost got killed because of him. You almost got killed twice because of him.
Yeah.
I've caused more headaches than he has.
And we've gotten more problems because we used him without thinking about it. Or the
Maybe if
captain.
you'd like treat him like a person and raise him,
It's
he
not
could
a
be a huge asset.
person. It's a blob of flesh with teeth.
Nope.
Hey.
That's exactly why I'm thinking about it.
At least someone's rational around here.
GM, out of character, our friend that's down below, he was the one that gave us a heads up about this whole conflict, right?
You know, well, thinking here. Broadly speaking, you would know of the no, if you're talking about Nogri, the Creel, then
Yeah.
he didn't have any special knowledge about that. He had things to say about the he had things
Guild.
mostly to say about the Shotloth Guild, which went unheeded.
You know, when you put it like that, you really mess with my brain. You know that, right?
Okay. I was trying to remember. Joe, not player, not as a character, was trying to remember um, some of the elements with him. Um,
Broadly speaking, like the ongoing feud, which to this point has mostly been between Houses Cato and House Mag, did not really visit upon. It did not visit upon your. Well, you broadly knew about it. You had like one accidental encounter with a House Mag vessel during that time you had to escape a cruiser in the nebula. That all of that being said, otherwise, jeez, it's not like anything that up until House Kalorn, for some reason got involved here. It didn't see, there wasn't really a reason for you to care about it otherwise.
okay. I think we'll save the tiny. This is back to Azek. I think we'll save the tiny incursion to the other ships for a more advantageous opportunity. For now, let's set course into that low angle orbit and into the atmosphere and see if we can get closer that way. Rladaar, is there any special frequencies that you can use to get a hold of who you need to on the planet to let them know that we're coming?
I should be able to find a way to contact my uncle if he is still alive.
All right, let's set course. Control on con again, I'm assuming.
Well, this time I actually think it's going to be daring plus con, since you are trying to maneuver stealthily into, from your present location into the atmosphere of this planet, and you are trying to do so whilst avoiding detection. To that,
I'm going to use a momentum for whatchamacallit, an extra dice.
okay, I am going to expend 3 points of threat to increase your complication range. So that will now run at a range of 2.
Is this because of environmental conditions
I mean, I would say that
or situation?
I'd say that there are a good number of reasons, such that planetary weather's coming into play. It is a deeply unpleasant area, in large part because of the sheer amount of disruptor fire that has happened in the area. That's probably kicked up a good bit of like dust and debris, which is generating like perhaps a bit of cloud cover issues. That said, complications could also include, or like the range could be in part because there are ships patrolling in the area, you know, that you are hiding from.
My character has a talent called Push the Limits. When you attempt a contest that has increased difficulty due to environmental conditions or damage to the engines, reduce the difficulty by 1 to a minimum of 1. So, and I have to spend a thing of determination to use that, if I remember right. I know this is something we don't do very often, and I've been reading up on the rules and stuff on this stuff. So
it should note under the talent here. Let's give that a quick look. Let's see.
No determination needed.
Indeed not.
It just reduces the difficulty by 1.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay, cool.
So I think I was going to give you a difficulty 4 for that task, so I guess we'll bring that back down to 3. And then
Perfect.
all right. So
We're learning to play right along people listening, so this is awesome.
very much an actual.
Can I assist?
You may. It would take the place of the ship assisting.
It would?
Yes, it would.
That's interesting.
So
Okay.
that would be 2 dice instead of 1, right? Or is assisting only 1 dice?
Assisting
Still,
is a
for-
single D20.
for- Okay, gotcha.
So who's got the better chance of pulling off the assist, considering the Yon very rarely decides to help?
It would probably be me.
Go for it then.
Thematically, it works for you too. So.
So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to look at these like formations and try to determine like which ships are like the sensor cordon, like where the for this enemy fleet, where the patrol ships / scout ships are, and help him avoid them. What would that roll be?
For that assist, I think I would call. My first inclination would be insight plus security to assist.
I am okay with that. I'm going to pitch, and this is not going to be shot down. I'm going to pitch assassination as a focus, because part of assassination is avoiding patrols and getting to your primary target.
And the ground disruptor batteries open fire and shoot down your pitch.
I figured, but I needed to try.
It was an honorable attempt. So let's see. That was 2 successes from. Just to make sure we got that properly tracked. That was 2 successes from Azek. And then a 3rd from Zional, which means that you very narrowly begin plotting a course to take you through the worst of the, or like the thinnest spots. Zional, for your part, as you man one of the auxiliary tactical consoles, or like start reviewing over some sensor telemetry, you figure that the bird of preys are likely using their considerable advantage in terms of speed and like numbers to maintain a spread and for the patrol. It seems as though some had to bunch up near the cruisers for possible damage control purposes. So, from the because the that has created some gaps that we've already discussed, that allows you the opportunity to that lets you spot out the best means of getting through, and as you are able to weave through the planet's rings with a quick bursted impulse and then down to thrusters, allowing you to mask your approach as you head towards the southern continent. You reorient the yawn, setting it for atmospheric entry, beginning to bank and swerve, eventually feeling the shear of atmosphere. And so the yawn is beginning its approach. We'll cut over to the bridge as you contend with some cloud cover. At this point, Croker will say, no, just thinking, since nobody knows we're coming yet, don't mind, Captain, if I go ahead and raise shields.
Absolutely. I want to use the phrase a leaf on the wind, but I'm afraid there'd be a harpoon in my future. So, Firefly spoilers. Raise shields and engage. Is it phaser batteries?
You have
Is that,
disruptors.
are we in that? Okay.
Disruptors?
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking the disruptor banks. Sorry.
You have cannons. In any case, the yawn banks and weaves and begins cutting its way through the cloud cover. With the shields raised, you're undoubtedly a little more visible, as the EM signature it gives off will create a bit more of a noticeable energy blip, so you're just hopeful that most of the ships are focused still out on any approach. There's a slight bit of jostling, most of which the inertial dampeners compensate for, but you have weapons ready, you have shields raised, and as the cloud cover gives way and the yawn descends a bit further, you find yourselves at still a very high altitude over what can be best described as a just range of blackened, glassy, cratered moonscape for all intents and purposes. It seems as though the terrain, whatever its makeup before, has long since been pulverized by fearsome exchanges of disruptor weapons that have just thoroughly blanketed the area. One would not be surprised if it had been these had been in concentration to, say, break up assaults, or if it was simply some effort to bombard from orbit. In the distance, a little further south of your location, you make out signs of what appear to be ships that have landed, and seem to be gathered near for all intents and purposes, a very bombed-out settlement of sorts, or what could have once been described as a decent-sized city, but has suffered quite catastrophic damage. All along there appears to be two perimeters along the line between the worst of the damaged ground, where arrays of earthworks, seemingly weapon batteries and other obstacles have been set up on both sides, and beyond them, in the southern direction towards the city, Vopri would report there are dense concentrations of different crew, or like large numbers of Klingons that are gathered there. Even larger numbers are in the perimeter outside of that. And there's just a massive range of like large rear areas of supplies, still more weapons, more soldiers, we're talking armies here that have reached into the thousands at this point, or close to tens of thousands. It's worth noting too. You were probably pretty visible to them.
Yeah, I figured we were going to be seen at some point. Rldaar, do you want to make our introductions and let them
Oh, yeah,
Trying.
you went quiet there, Joe.
know? Do you want Rldaar? Do you want to get in touch with the who you need to let them know we're here to help?
Yes. Yes. Communicate.
Okay. So
What do I need to roll for that DM?
um,
Yeah, that's if we're not jammed.
I'll say that. Tell you what, I am going to have one of the assault ships take a quick roll here just to see what they are doing for that. So they get, let's see, they're at least proficient. And I would say there is some attempt at EM jamming going on, so that would be... Alright, a proper readout on that would be, because the complication range is only supposed to be 1, they had 3 successes. That one is actually a 4, so that's like not necessarily a problem. That 0 is a 19, which since nothing has been spent, they aren't complicating on that. You are going to have to beat a difficulty 3 with engineering plus communications to open hailing frequencies.
I see.
Let's have the ship help, or Vopri help, whoever can be more helpful.
Vopri will chip in with an immediate attempt to break through communication, the jamming. He'll give you 1 success. So you just need to score 2 there, Rldaar.
Alright. Let's nab a momentum.
Okay.
For an extra die.
You got it.
It's
Request approved.
and it's control in engineering.
Correct.
Alright.
And that is 4 successes, which will add to a total of 5. So yeah, that is going to be easily enough to break through the jamming. You also earn back 2 points of momentum. Joe, just draw at your leisure.
Okay, how do I do this? How do I draw?
Click on the momentum pile, the red tokens.
Ah, okay. It was behind my character sheet there.
I see.
And you said
yes.
draw 2?
Yes. All right.
Hey, I did it.
Yanto, this would be your opportunity to signal, Rldaar.
Alright. Kulak, are you reading?
There's a moment of momentary silence on the line. I try again. Make sure we are properly broadcasting.
Kulak, this is Rldaar. I've come to assist.
There, some static meets for a moment. Rldaar! Oh, I thought I'd be so glad to hear that voice. Good. Where are you?
We're currently in the lower atmosphere.
Proceed to landing coordinates. Relaying now. We will lay suppressive fire. Do your best to avoid the batteries.
Understood.
As he says that, Crooker hears multiple alarms on his console start going off. Indeed, something that would start to broadcast. Their ground disruptor batteries are starting to lock on us. I think the House Mog folks have seen us.
We've got a landing spot. They're gonna cover us. We have to land now, or we're gonna get blasted.
All right, give me the coordinates.
All right, Azek, this will be one more control plus con roll, or rather daring plus con roll as you start making it in. I'm going to set this as a bit of a contested roll here. You must beat the success of a... you must beat basically a set of ground batteries being coordinated from a nearby assault ship that have landed. For all intents and purposes, it is going to be them shooting at you. If you beat their success, then you will land. If so long as you gain, like, I'll say so long as you gain one success, that is enough to land the ship. Just, you may take damage on the way down, basically. So.
Could this will probably be an out of character thing, but our batteries can, or our weapons can go shoot in atmosphere, right?
They can, yes.
So if I wanted to spend one momentum on an extra die and 2 momentum to give us a good strafing run while they're firing at us, let Procure do their thing and unleash a set of fire on them at the same time, would that be possible?
That I would allow for that. I would ask you to probably spend momentum to basically allow. You're essentially keeping the initiative on that.
Okay, that works.
So, yeah. Azek, do you, if you could give me the roll first for your like the landing attempt.
Yep, daring and con with piloting as my focus there.
The ship may assist with engines and con as well. And note for our audience, that is 2 successes on Azek's first part of the roll there.
The ship likes to fall asleep sometimes.
Yes, it does. Somebody wake up the ship.
Oh, I'm supposed to be rolling for the ship.
I don't
Oh
know.
no,
supposed to be rolling?
the ship shut down from whatever was affecting me a couple weeks ago. No.
No. Did someone roll for the ship? I wasn't paying attention. I apologize.
Not yet. You are the ship.
I am the ship. So what am I? What is the ship rolling?
The ship is rolling engines plus con to start with.
Oh, good. I already had that selected.
Yep.
All right, ship. Do something. Nope. Not this time.
It meets, so Azek, you are going to set the Yan on a course towards the location, but try to set it for a good area of the strafing, to line up a strafing run. Disruptors begin flying up and creating bursts of green energy that come very near to your ship. They seem to at first be dedicated just to creating a sort of curtain fire, but then try to focus more on like actually hitting the ship. The bursts, several of them do come close enough to actually light up the shields, and maybe a couple even manage to hit, but they're not in enough concentration to actually overcome resistance or noticeably disrupt your shields. They do hold, but man, do you guys have a bumpy ride in. And as part of that, I think somebody who's asleep is waking up to being jostled around in a
Yeah, probably a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. So as those shots continue, if you would like to spend the you already spent the 2 points of momentum there, Isaac, for the to keep the initiative.
Yeah.
Okay. Croker is.
I am out of moment. I spent all of them on that thing.
Yep. Croker is going to attempt to fire the disruptors. He definitely fires off some disruptors. He hits nothing on the way out. And thus, like, man, as the ship runs by, you leave a large stretch of ground just like charred from the bursts of green bolts that have impacted. As far as you can tell, there is no damage whatsoever to any of the House Mog fortifications, any deaths, indeed, really, any inconvenience.
All right. Go in for our landing then, I guess.
If it had been transporters and grenades. Yep. So the yawn pulls in and lands amidst a burning city. As you find a location near the landing like the landing sites that they've set up, you notice you are at least now partially under the shields of the landed ships, which it appears there are at least half a dozen vessels, all with all Rladaar that you would recognize belong to House Kalorn, and all of them seeming to be in various states of quite significant damage. When the yawn soon sets down, and once the docking clamps are out, you are all free now to proceed from the ship. Transport scramblers are active right now, so you...
the elevator's already in motion.
Yep. Oh, the elevator's already moving.
Somebody on the bridge would notice that.
Captain, I don't believe... wait, no. Dar is there. Somebody has already left the ship.
What?
Give me a sensor scan. Who was it?
I am picking up signs of one Klingon biosign.
Oh yeah, the extra. Oh yes, the extra Klingon.
Excuse me.
You didn't know?
They don't tell me stuff.
They don't tell the captain the things that happen aboard the ship that he commands. Interesting.
They said to get Rladaar here. That was our orders.
If I had known that you were so ill-informed, I would have told you myself. Obviously, I have to keep track of things like who has the requisition slips for the meals, extra meals, and extra clothes, and all that stuff. So I figured it out. I wasn't told myself, and I figured that was just you not informing me. But yes, there's another Klingon. I don't know
the elevator's coming back up.
All right. I think tactically it makes sense. It makes sense for me to stay with the ship with Beaupry. Rladaar, take Croker and whoever else you need. Tiny, if you really want them, to do whatever you need to do. We'll be here. We'll be here trying to maintain tactical support what we can, and let us know what we need to do to help.
All right.
Quick question, Mr. GM, sir. From where we're at, which direction is Romulan space?
Due galactic north still a ways, and there's a bit of gap
Excellent.
of unclaimed territory.
Rladaar, how far north has your family been?
What do you mean?
Just northward, space-wise. I'm trying to get a lay of the land, a tactical analysis, if you will.
GM man, I feel like this is a good question.
He's trying to decide whether or not to join him or not, depending on how far north Raldar's family has gone.
I can't imagine House Kalorn, as far as you know, has gone so much far out here, though granted, the odd warrior might have in the past flown around, perhaps participated in some action on behalf of the Empire, or otherwise raided someone somewhere. It's not unprecedented.
But no major skirmishes.
This would be, as far as the end of the Empire nearest the Romulans, this is probably the largest commitment House Kalorn has ever made to that end.
Mr. GM, I pinged you through Discord.
Yes. As you ponder the whom to send, a comm line beeps on the bridge, and Voprai says, "Someone attempting to access the comms. Stand by." Hello.
Hey, what planet is this? We're not on Mektor anymore.
This is Hosh Semar.
I've never heard of that.
Voprai looks
What's
around.
going on?
Let me put you through to the captain.
Oh, okay. Is that Tavok then? Heard he was back.
No. Could maybe you just report to the bridge?
Okay.
Voprai closes the line and just looks to the bunch of you that have gathered here.
So yeah, eventually the door opens, and yeah, there's this really ugly Klingon dude in the door.
Yeah.
He's close to 7 foot tall. Just the hair is all over the place. He's just got a full, massive beard that's unkempt. You wouldn't be surprised if a bird nested in it. Big, like I said, a cauliflower nose. Okay, like it's been smashed and broken multiple times. Big bushy eyebrows, just wild all over the place. Scars all over his face. Hi.
And who are you? My hand is on my disruptor.
Hammock.
I am Captain Azik. Are you our new recruit?
I don't know anything about that. I was loading stuff up and sort of took a nap, and now we're here.
Naps are very dangerous.
I'm sorry, sir. You got to speak up. I can't hear a thing you're saying.
The naps are very dangerous. Where in cargo holds. Uh,
How'd you know I was in the cargo hold?
Intuition. You smell like
Okay.
a car. You smell like a cargo hold.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Do I? He lifts an arm, sniffs at his armpits. Whatever.
what is so? You've been here for however long we've been traveling since load up.
I guess so, yeah. I had to get up every once in a while. I had to use the head. Got something to drink, grabbed a snack. No one told me to get out of here, so I just sort of stayed. I already got paid for the loading job. I was done ahead of schedule.
Means you're a good worker. I like it. Well,
Well,
while you're here,
I can move a lot of heavy stuff.
and Azek looks down at his arms, and you could probably hit pretty hard too.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
All right. Well, we're I kind of update him on the situation we're in, as far as delivering Rldaar and helping what him and his family or his house need.
Rldaar, is Rldaar on the bridge?
Yes.
Oh, you're taller than me. That's weird. Hey.
Rldaar, care to take our new recruit with you?
Wait. Does that mean I got a job on the ship?
Well, you're here. You're big. We might need help moving a couch later. So yeah,
Okay.
we'll bring you on board.
Wait, does that mean
We'll show you.
does that mean like I'm part of the crew? I mean, he really looks like he's excited here. He's like, really?
As long as you honor the ship, you can be. We will play it by ear. Let's see how you do.
Yes, Hay'wI.
Have you eaten?
Let's.
Snacks. I had snacks.
Nope. That's not gonna fly. Maybe in the
I,
mess
I
hall.
got I caught a vole in the cargo bay. It was crunchy.
You're gonna eat a meal.
Great, I like it.
Which of the ship stations would be in charge of room assignments?
Probably me.
Or, well, probably not the station on the bridge, but you know the XO's quarters or the captain's office.
All right. While you're gone, we'll make sure to get you a proper bunk, and we'll figure out the paperwork getting back. But
I get a bed in the cabin.
protect Rldaar and follow his lead.
Protect him. I'll give it a go. All I got's a knife. You got anything bigger?
Look at you, disruptor.
We have a spear too, don't we?
Cool. Disruptor, knife. Yeah, I'm good. Got any more knives? I like knives. I like guns. I like guns. I like knives.
You like knives? How many knives? And Zano pulls open his coat, and it's just knives all the way down.
Those are tiny little things.
But effective if you use it in the right spot.
Yeah. But yeah, guns, knives. Yeah, I'm good. You know, if he looks over, he's standing there, and he looks at the tactical console, and he's like, you know, if you narrow the confinement beam or the confinement field on the disruptors, you can probably get a much better hit ratio. somebody fouled that up really bad. You couldn't hit nothing with the settings like that. You couldn't hit a barn with that.
Isaac's just waiting for Croker to do something and laughing.
His pride wounded and by the failed performance earlier just stands in stark contrast to this slovenly, messy Klingon who seems in many ways very much his antithesis.
You think?
It's almost calculated.
Almost.
You would never do such a thing on purpose.
No, not at all. Cool, so I got a gun, I got my knife. A little, oh well, I can take a hit. All right, Mr. Big Lizard, where you gotta go? Excuse me.
We're going to collect Junior.
Where?
And we're
Junior?
going to my uncle.
Where you got family. All right, you gotta get your kid, and we're gonna go to your uncle. Okay. Wait, was there a snack involved in this? Was there food? Someone said something about food.
He'll feed you. I point to Traven.
I'll meet you in the mess hall.
Okay. Yeah, I already been sneaking some food out the galley. So
That's why we don't have Gawk pockets, you Klingon. And as it goes back to the helm.
Gawk pockets. What the hell's he talking about? All I found was some pastry.
Yeah, it's a nice pastry that everybody on the crew has to have before they join.
Oh, okay. Well, I had the pastry. There wasn't anything in it.
This one is specially made, so don't you worry.
Okay. Cool. Let's go get some food. I'm hungry. How long have we been in space? I wasn't really paying attention.
On that note, I'm going to ask
Crazy.
what the away team looks like. We have Rladaar, we have Junior, we have
Kemok.
Who else is going to ground?
After determining that things seem to be safe enough for him, Zion is going to go as well, because if there's one thing sieges need to survive, it's proper supply lines and proper distribution of supplies to make sure that they can survive as long as possible.
Fair enough.
This is finally his time to shine as
This
a
is
paper
his
pusher.
speciality.
As a paper pusher.
Yep.
He's just gonna take like an extra scarf and like wrap it around the lower half of his face, so it's just goggles and, covered face.
Copy that. So let's see here then. Just as a reminder, I am going to repost the package of weapons that you have, especially from the like earlier on. So you have disruptor pistols. You may take as standard. If you wish to escalate, you may include other parts of the package. Plasma repeaters, disruptor rifles, gintok spears, and thermite grenades. So I'll let you. How do you feel?
I'll take a pistol and a rifle.
Yeah, well, that'll hit the escalation cost. So the GM will take 2 threat, and there.
And now it's open season, right?
Yep.
If I remember correctly.
Now it is a broadly more dangerous game, so you may as well.
Question: Plasma repeater, is it a two-handed weapon?
Double checking, I believe.
Or
so.
is it like an SMG that could be wielded one-handed?
could with difficulty.
Then I'm going to take some grenades, too, while we're at it.
Might as well.
Might as well.
You get three uses of a grenade.
Get 3 grenades? Man. Okay.
That's not bad though. Thermite grenade. 3 thermite grenades?
That's a grenade quality.
You know what? I'll take a plasma repeater. Why not?
Worthwhile. So I will say,
Can I add it to my sheet?
yeah, go right ahead. You should just be able to click the add button on the weapons section, and any of you that want to go. Really, you can all have this.
And of course a pistol. Like,
yeah.
Of course I'm gonna have the pistol and my knife.
Yes.
All I came on the ship with was the duck hog.
Yep. So.
Given the fact this is a war zone, I will grab a rifle.
Yep. So, the 3 of you will be so armed. Dar will not be armed with anything that he doesn't already have around.
Dar is always armed.
Yes. So, let's see. You make the quick stop whilst Zional is gathering his things, and Chemak, that's I had that right? Sean?
Yeah, Chemak.
Chemak, yep. So while Chemak is grabbing a snack and...
Yeah, it begins with the letter Yeah.
Yeah, like Bach.
Bach. Yeah.
Yep. While they're doing their respective things, you make a stop by the upper decks in order to retrieve Dar from his resting place. He glances about and just acknowledges there's been he makes eye contact with you. He's like, rumbles.
We're taking you outside the ship. Behave yourself.
Good shot. He's even bigger than you.
Snack.
I like it.
Snack.
No. I like you. You're cool.
And he is my clone / son.
What's the slash, son?
Just son. He's my son. That's all you need to know.
Ugh. Must have had a really big mother.
Don't worry about it.
I don't worry about much.
Dance. All right. So, by some miracle, the lot of you will fit into the elevator. It is probably the least comfortable any of you have been. Maybe not Chemok, but otherwise I think it's a little bit of a squeeze. And departing from the yawn, you enter the staging area, where you find once again landing on somewhat scorched or otherwise uplifted grounds from the many ships that had set down previously. There are distant rumbles and flashing lights as fire is still being exchanged. Some of it may be coming up high enough that shields are intercepting as being projected by the other grounded ships. But a good bit is landing on the lines out ahead of you. I'd say that the rate of fire is such that it's more of a just general, sustained barrage. There's nothing too intense as of this point. the immediate grounds there isn't much of an escort to greet you. A couple of officers or a couple soldiers of the house come up with very dark gray, very dulled sort of metallic armor. Um, they are all hemhoch, and they glance over you. There's kind of the sensation they're slightly taken aback before one says, One of you is Rladaar.
I am him.
Yeah, ain't me.
Yeah. A further pause before he says, Come quickly. The General Kulek, he awaits you.
Take me to him, then let us be swift.
The two soldiers will start guiding you around. All
Yeah,
of you,
keep it up.
Yep. All of you take in the environment, and you may notice different things. For your part, Rladaar, you definitely. Well, I'll actually start with you, Zional. For one thing, you're immediately going to notice is the state of these warriors that have come to greet you. Their armor is very clearly like worn from battle. At least one of the disruptors looks as though it's seen some better days. Might have taken a glancing shot in and of itself. Passing through the landing area in towards some of the more fortified elements of the town, you see signs of troops moving about, and there are some marching groups of Klingon warriors all about, all hemhoch. All of them, however, in very rough states. Batleths and other blades that seem to be worn, in some cases chipped. A good number of them have lost panels of armor, signs of carbon scoring, and are generally some are at the point of boots are practically disintegrating on the as they march through the streets of what is a largely destroyed settlement. The buildings around you are all badly crumpled. Some seem to have taken hits. Others just appear to have had parts of them knocked out to establish weapon emplacements or other parts of fortifications. A great many less lights than probably would normally be going in a city of this size. Rladaar, you yourself would not only notice the state of the equipment, but very much that of the men around you. The warriors, such as they have been fighting for what you can gather has been weeks and weeks at this point. There's a very sort of vacant expression to their eyes as this is something you would expect to see after many weeks of sustained battle, but not the sort of battle that truly enlivens a Klingon heart, not the fierce melees, a swing of a sword, the blast of a disruptor at such a close range that you can see clearly the look of rage or fear in your opponent's eyes, nor even the slightly less personal, what could be slightly less personal space combat, although given the distances you fight at and how powerful and how long-range the weapons are, even being separated by hundreds of thousands of kilometers, it is practically a knife fight at that distance. No, these are men that have not known that true great battle. This is the sort of expression, the sort of weariness that would come from long, sustained grinds of distant barrages here on the ground. Their faces sprayed with dirt or otherwise, their complexion slightly ashened by exposure to smoke, as they've probably been rotating between front lines where the disruptors pounded the no man's land which surrounds the settlement. For your part, Kimok, I think the most pronounced difference would be the smell. Something not quite as bad as yourself, but something just deeply unnerving, or not quite. Not what you would. Not the sort of smells of death and destruction that you would positively associate with a battlefield. Such something like that.
Can I do a roll to see how much time they have left?
I will allow you an insight plus security roll.
Equipment requisition to know about like supplies.
I'll allow that.
All right.
I'm going to call this difficulty of 2. For,
All right.
For a best guess. Okay, not a complete sense of what's going on, but I think that it's safe to say, Zional, that the logistics behind this effort are probably approaching their last legs if they aren't already there. If the Klingons were just to stay in this position and try to fight it out the way that they currently are, then you'd give them maybe weeks. And that's still thinking Klingon weeks, so maybe close to something like 16 to 24 days.
So that's assuming that they fight like rational people, or assuming that they fight like Klingons?
They fight like Klingons.
Klingons are rational people.
At a certain point, the question will become, do the Klingons try to fight the way that gains them the advantage and thus a better chance for victory? Or if they, the question is, do those supplies give out and they find themselves less able to fight that way? Or do they give in to some stirring speech and forsake that advantage in favor of some notion of honor that will get entire regiments vaporized in quick fashion?
Right, okay, gotcha.
And that could be any time.
Yeah. Okay, good to know.
Yep. So, guided through the cracked and broken streets of the city, you are eventually guided through to a subterranean area. There's a small sort of tunnel complex that they allow you entry to. The escorts just barely get you past some guards, or they seem to offer a little protest at your arrival. But as the escorts make clear that you're meant to pass, they don't fight too hard to stop you, and just allow you to pass. As you're gestured through, you see further signs of emptying store boxes of equipment being shuffled about, and I dare say quite a few signs of wounded that are in the complex. You are eventually brought past into what has become an improvised bunker area. Warriors appear to be gathered around a table as there's some heated conversation. Updates from A front, and amongst the batch, 2 warriors stand at the head of the table. as one is speaking of the depletion of like one of the major batteries on the eastern flank. Kuleg proclaims, "We, as I understand it, the Gatat has is no longer capable of spaceflight. We shall remove its batteries and shunt them around. Those Mog warriors may try hard, but they will not crumble our lines." And stepping into the room, the escorts simply stand to attention and allow you to pass, Rladaar.
Do we all go in? I'm supposed to be making sure that he gets where he's supposed to be going. I don't think we've got there yet, so
Yeah.
are they going to stop me from going in?
Yeah, Rladaar, this would be your judgment call, I think. This is your mission.
He can come with me if he wants to.
Are you bringing everybody in, or do you have Dar wait?
Gar's going to wait. Okay.
It's done. I cannot. I do not want to. I don't want him out of my eyesight.
Yeah.
I do not want him out.
Yeah. We'll get to it in a moment, but you'll note Dar's been actually a bit quiet. And so as you step in, your presence is you are ready to make your presence known here.
General Tulek.
And now, my fellow warriors, see what bounties come from the loyal bonds of family. See what the House of Cologne brings. He glances around and he sees you, Rladaar, and the motley bunch you have in tow. Give me an insight plus command roll.
Oh boy.
Each of us?
This is mostly for Rladaar.
Okay.
Can I assist? Because I'm an empath.
You can empath. Hell yeah.
Because of my empath talent.
I'll allow it.
Hazard awareness?
That is not in this case, no.
Damn.
You must beat 2 successes.
Man, my tokens.
All right, here goes. Insight and command. Sorry, can't help you. Can't help you there. I tried, buddy.
At least it wasn't a 20.
Yeah. Zional, for your part, you're processing a lot of strange feelings and a lot of ambient rage, but also weariness. That is, it's more than you are used to. Also a little distracted by unusual sensations that you're getting from Dar in this whole process. Whom you haven't
It's
been...
like, is that thing actually thinking? Nah, definitely not.
The extra point of insight to put on him is working?
Just a meat puppet. That's all it is.
For your part, Rladaar, the moment that you come in, or that your presence is made known, Kulek starts off his pronouncement with all the warmth and the gregarious nature that you remember back to many a time on the estates of the House of Cologne. Many points where you remember battles taking place amongst the fellow sons of Cologne, amongst the other children, and the expression of a man with the song very much in his heart. You're not entirely sure what happens, but there is a moment when he sees you standing there and looks to those that are among you. A moment where that melts away. and you're not entirely sure what takes its place. But it only goes for a moment before he tries to resume his posture and to give off that energy. Well, we have tasks we must tend to. A battery we must replace, and soldiers we must try to rotate out for the next encounter. Prepare your warriors. Latash, secure the immediate surroundings. I must have words with this one. Yes, Chakwi. And with that, the warriors that were gathered around this little council are dispersed, and it is the four of you are still here. He says, Rladaar, you may keep them with you if you wish, but I believe, representative of the house as you are, we should share some words privately.
Zalno, you can deal with our new member if you desire.
My job was to make sure you got here safe, so I'm pretty sure that got done. These guys are getting their asses handed to them. So yeah, I'll be out of here.
This one, he points at Art. He is effectively. I have claimed him as my son. It should be appropriate for him to stay. He needs to learn.
Kulek looks from the from you, Rladaar, to the clone, and with the gaze between you, he looks as though he is pondering something for a moment. His jaw rotating back and forth a little. Says, "Well, words we shall have then. Just the three of us." And as he invites you into the further into the room to take counsel amongst yourselves and leaves the rest behind, I think that is where we will call tonight's session. So, yeah, for those of you in the archive, this is where we are going to leave off for the evening. We will be back next week. If you ever want to join us, you can catch us on our usual 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more live Broken Sword. Otherwise, you can keep up to date in the archives here. And of course, for any of you that are ever interested or have the time on Saturdays, we also run our Star Trek Adventures Aegis game. We have had some breaks from the main campaign. I am hoping that we can proceed with the regular bit. Just keep up to date on any of this by either checking us out on our Discord or social medias. So we will we will keep you posted on all of that as we go. Until then, kapla.
Kapla!